Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and joining us is Lee Cockerell joining us. I say it like he's a guest and it's his show. So, Lee, how are you doing?
I'm good. Everything's fine here in Orlando, and it's been cold, and now it's getting warm again, so we're happy. And all's good. Thanks.
Well, we have some sad news. A friend of ours, Dan Miller, the author of 48 Days to the Work You Love, he passed away recently, and what an inspiration. And Lee, I knew Dan really well, have known him for many years, and we were lucky enough he came to one of our events, and it was really so just sad news. Dan was a great guy.
Well, boy, and it happened so quickly. That's you just never know. Yeah, we really enjoyed having him. He's a really smart guy. He ran a great business, and out of nowhere came that issue with pancreatic cancer. I mean, it's sad to hear to lose a person like that.
Yeah, it sure is. He had a tremendous impact on me, and it was really interesting to see and made the whole situation a little heartwarming, I guess, to see so many people that felt like they had a very special relationship with Dan. And I was thinking about that and thought, man, I'm lucky if I make 10 people feel like we have a special relationship. And here there are hundreds that felt that way about Dan.
Oh, there's probably more than that for you. So,
Well, hopefully we don't find out for a very long time.
exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a listener question. And before we do that, I want to mention our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. I'm about to take a trip to Orlando. And at this time, I don't think I'm going to visit any of the parks, although I will play some mini golf. And even if you just want to go to Orlando and say, set me up with every mini golf course in the city, I think they could do that. You can reach our friends at Magical Vacation Planner by calling 407-442-2694. Just let them know you are a mini golf fiend. Lee, where I come from, we always called it miniature golf.
Yeah,
I
we
moved
did.
out here to Washington State and they call it putt putt.
Well, yeah, I know. In Ardmore, Oklahoma, we were playing miniature golf back in 1954.
So you've probably seen miniature golf change a lot since 1954.
It got harder, and they got all these wheels turning and things making it harder to do. And yeah, they're great though. They're great fun. I know.
When was the last time you played?
Oh gosh, I think it was when the my grandkids were smaller. They loved to go, and we would take them. And it's the only kind of golf I try.
Well, we'll see. Maybe someday I can get Lee back on the mini golf course because I love it. I love playing mini golf. So we'll get Lee out there. Maybe. I don't know. I've talked him into a couple things he wished he hadn't done. Maybe mini golf will be the next one.
All right.
Well, we have a listener question from Chris, and this is an interesting one, Lee, because although I don't know if you've dealt with this directly from your time at Marriott and Disney, I think you've at least seen it in play. And he said one of the issues that they are having, he works at a credit union. One of the issues they're having is cross selling. So he's the manager of training and he's been tasked with implementing new training programs to increase employee motivation towards selling and promoting products and services. So, what he would like to learn more about is how do you encourage new employees to sell through service? So, when someone comes for one, they're just doing their transactions. How do you motivate your team to sell other products that you offer?
Well, I had a bank here for 35 years, and they did a terrible job of that. They never got it right. I would hear from them, and they say they wanted to talk to me about this product or that product, or I'd get a call, and the next thing I knew, there was a new bank manager. He was gone. The next one called me and would tell me we're going to get in touch with you. I never heard from them. I think you got to really be committed to something like this. That it's they've got to be fully trained. They've got to totally understand the products and why somebody should even have the product. But then, just a lot of rehearsing, a lot of understanding what products you want them to push harder and which one are lower. There's a lot of products in a bank, and it's just like anything else. It'll start out with training and training and training, and maybe a lot of training together, testing on each other. But cross selling is hard, and you got to be careful not to set the incentives where people start doing the wrong thing. That happened to Wells Fargo, where they started trying to incent people to sign them up, and people started doing it fraudulently, just making it up and putting names in. And you got to be careful about too much pressure where people are going to get incented for it financially for selling, cross selling. So I'm not a big, I'm not going to say I'm not a big fan of it. It's fine. And frankly, you and I do it every week on our own business, trying to sell people different products that we're making, and speaking and seminars and masterminds and customer rules and the frontline rules. But I think people that are going to sell it are going to have to really believe it has value, and the senior operator in the bank is going to have to get involved and make sure that they know that he believes this is good for the customer. Customer will appreciate this. Nobody wants to sell something that you don't really believe in yourself. So I think that often I think people are trying to do cross sell, and they don't really deeply understand the product and what it does and why somebody should have it and how it will make their life easier. So I think it's the same old thing. Become an expert in it, and you'll be a better salesman. Yeah.
Well, this is something I think Lee and I have seen Magical Vacation Planner do. And I'm not saying that to plug them again because that's what we do. I'm saying that because Lee and I have had the chance to see their training and see what their agents go through. And they do a lot of education on different products that are offered so they can understand what is the right fit for a family that wants to go on vacation. As an example, they would know whether to say, well, maybe try this at Universal and try this at Disney. And part of it is just the education piece Lee was talking about.
Yeah,
If,
you
yeah,
gotta really understand the product. So when somebody asks you a question, you're not going, "Oh, I don't know." You got to work your way through it so everybody understands the kind of questions that will come up from a customer. That they have faith that you fully understand the product and can answer the questions.
yeah, that's right. Because otherwise, you're just mentioning the product because it's part of your script. And upon questioning, it'll crumble pretty fast if they don't believe in it, if they don't know about it. So it does the education piece does make a difference. And Lee mentioned that your team has to know how it benefits the customer. And I think that's one of the important pieces because if you understand how it benefits a customer and you get to know customers, and at banks, credit unions, you often do because you see the same people come in often, then you can promote or upsell products that are a good fit for them because you know them.
Yeah, I think one thing people are going to have to realize today, though, most people don't come in anymore. It's
Yeah.
everything's done online, and the banks are pushing everybody hard not to come in. They want you to do it online because they want to have lower staffing or come through the drive-through, or use the ATM, or apply online. So it's I think, and a lot more often, people are not going to have that advantage of knowing the person they're trying to sell it to. So yeah, that's. I mean, we all get solicited every day, a million times on email. Somebody trying to give us something, sell us something, tell us something, and so often we get in the rut because we just delete it because it just they all come across the same way. They don't look personal. They don't look personalized. And I think a little about a lot of the videos we do. We make them personal. We record them. We keep them short and to the point, and fun, and not overproduced. That it sounds like it really came from a real live person who cares about you. And that video may say, "Hi, I'm so and so. I work down here at the bank. I know you do most of your business online. I won't get to see you personally, but I just want to tell you about some products we have. Let me explain what," and that's it. I think these that are overproduced, they're too slick, and people going, "Oh yeah, right." And that personal touch of a real human being that looks and sounds like they really care. That's kind of the way you're going to get people's attention.
Yes. Yeah. And I think one more to add to this is if your team feels like they're just trying to sell something to a customer, they might approach it different than if they think they're offering a solution to what a problem the customer might have. So that is also a piece of it. I mean, if you're worried about the motivation of them selling, it could be because they feel like they're selling and not helping out your customers.
There you go. I agree.
So Lee, when you look at either Marriott or Disney, I've stayed at a lot of Marriotts. I've spent a lot of time at Disney, and you do get offered upsells. If you book a room at Marriott, they will say, "Hey, do you want the suite? Do you want a king size bed?" They will offer you some options that might be a little more attractive. So they upsell products. Disney is they do really well at upselling products. What did you learn from either of those companies about offering upsells on products?
Well, I think you're upselling a room, and I get those all the time too. I'm going to a hotel and I'll get an offer that for this much more, you can have a bigger suite, or you can have a breakfast included at all, and those are just all great, and they apply to what I'm doing right then. It's not something I might do someday. So I think as long as it relates to the transactions you're going to be involved in or the business, then it makes sense. And when I go to stay in a hotel today, whether it's Hilton, Marriott, or Radisson, or any of them, you usually get some kind of offer if they have rooms available where they'll upgrade you or upgrade you to the concierge level, and that's smart. That's smart because that's real value for some people that really want it. And so yeah, sincere,
Yeah,
just be
I
sincere and logical.
yes, I've seen it a lot when I do cruises. They always try to upsell you to a bigger balcony, a bigger room, a suite, the concierge level. I mean, they make sure you know what options are available to you, and I think that's one of the lessons we can take from that is it's it's a consistent reminder that there are other options available that might benefit you.
Yeah, and we like you listening to this podcast, which is free, but we would love to sell you a bunch of products we have. And in fact, we're going to come out very soon. Jody's working on getting every product we have available listed in our store. So if you just want one course, you can go buy it. If you want the Main Street Leader, you can go buy it. If you want the Main Street, the Main Street Rules, you can buy it. Or if you can buy a time management course, you can buy whatever you want, and we'll make them available. And before we haven't done that. And so a lot of people are telling us, I'd like to buy this or that course. I don't really want to join the Cockrell Academy for the whole course, all 10 or 12. And so we're going to make that available. And so, sure.
Yeah, that's
Want to
right.
try it?
A big shift that we're doing is we are moving from everything behind the wall of the Cockrell Academy to everything we've done is available. And this is actually a great example because if you get the time management magic course, we think you might like some of the other stuff. So we will try to upsell you to another course or the Cockrell Academy because we know it'll benefit you. And we're going to practice what we're talking about here, but it is a big shift in what we're doing with the Cockrell Academy. The all the courses will still be available under the Cockrell Academy, but now you can buy a single course and you don't have to enroll. Where before, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, we might offer a standalone course for a couple of weeks, and that's been it. But now we're going to have them available all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you can find that at cockrellacademy.com. And if you don't want to enroll in the academy, but you just want to take, for example, world-class customer service, well, it's going to be available for you. So just watch for that. And if you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss, you can reach out to either one of us. Lee's at leecockerell.com. I'm at jodymayberry.com. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.